Legendary game. Sometimes, man, but let you know on the back note, you actually got MrNightmare, man. I ain't gonna say too much. New Mexico Road to K. The last one was very suspect, and I didn't upload it. Hey, man, spooky. It's almost October, bro. You know what I'm saying? 31st. Halloween season, bro. Let's get to it.
Before getting into the stories, I just want to announce that I partnered with Makeshift to create a
Listen, my nigga. Let's get to the video. I appreciate your sponsor. Let's get to the video. By Steve Danson.
The town I grew up in was pretty country, to put it lightly. Nothing but farms, crops, abandoned churches, and ugly, worn-down houses. Everyone around us was
Bro, this look like one of them
property
low-down
taxes
towns.
were like $1,000 a year, if that. With that came a lot of sketchball characters. Hell, even our neighbor was a weirdo. Nice, but weird. We weren't well off ourselves, but things at least got a little better for my family when my siblings and I were old enough to work too. When this app, Hot or Not, was still a thing many years back, I matched this girl Kelly, who I started seeing for a while. We matched in late summertime.
If you gotta go online and get bitches, you're sad. Not gonna lie, bro. Because you're setting yourself up for disaster. If you gotta go online and get bitches, you're sad. I stand on that. You should really just focus on yourself. Stop trying to go chase. Imagine paying for Tinder. Like no cap. You're sad. I don't
we
even
were
care.
seeing each other through September already. This was early October. Kelly and I were looking for a nice, cheap date to go on. Really, there wasn't much to do around there. We've gone on hikes, explored.
Are you in a ghost town, bro?
Not much else going on. So we took a new route in the car this day, somewhere neither of us had been, just to find something. We found this little restaurant sitting in a random parking lot on the side of the road. It had outdoor seating, so we went there. It was a warm, cloudy day when we arrived and got seated at a table outside the restaurant. We were there for 45 minutes to an hour, and after leaving, it grew noticeably foggy out.
I thought they said it was waiting.
We continued to drive down this route we'd never been down before.
That's one thing you don't do,
with just open fields and farmland on either side, with occasional patches of trees and woods. Then we passed something different. It was a sign for a pumpkin patch, only it was a very cheaply made sign. It wasn't some big billboard or anything like that. It was a wooden picket sign that said "Pumpkin picking this way," and an arrow pointing to the right. Right behind the sign was a dirt driveway cutting through the field. Through the fog, we saw a house that the driveway led to, so a spur-of-the-moment decision. We both agreed we wanted to check it out because why not? I drove off the road down the driveway, and we passed the house into this back area, which was covered by trees in two directions, the left side and the far back side. Tucked between the house and woods was this big pumpkin patch. It was a genuine pumpkin farm, and we saw at least 200 pumpkins scattered all over the place, and that was just what the fog allowed us to see. We parked next to this old jalopy of a pickup truck, the only other vehicle visible on the property. We noticed an older couple sitting on the back deck of the house.
Oh, no, that's where you gotta get out. You gotta get out.
Got up and greeted us. I said we're here for the pumpkin picking, and the old woman said with a smile, "Welcome. Pick anything you'd like." I asked her how much it would be.
You're gonna pick the pumpkin up. It's gonna be a hand. He's gonna snatch your soul down the journey, down. You know what I'm saying?
For a pumpkin, and the old woman said it's free. We were surprised. The fog was actually.
Hey, if it's free, it's too good to be true.
So we couldn't clearly see the two. It was a little creepy, but I could still tell that it looked like the old man was smiling at Kelly. His smile was very gummy. It was kind of gross. We both said thank you and started walking into the pumpkin patch. A lot of the pumpkins were on the smaller side, or mushy and just not very attractive. The ground was also kind of wet from the fog, I guess, and some of the pumpkins felt wet and muddy too. It was hard to find a really nice one, but eventually we did find one. I picked up this big, healthy-looking pumpkin. It was heavy. I brought it over to the back deck where the old couple just was. They weren't there anymore.
Oh my God.
I asked Kelly if we should just leave. She said probably. We really felt like we were clear to leave since we already thanked the couple and they made it clear they were free. So we got back in the car, and I started doing a 3-point turn on the dirt driveway to leave, when we heard someone yelling outside. We both got startled and turned to face the house.
Yelling is crazy.
We saw a middle-aged man in a cap yelling, "Hey, stop." I lowered the window, and he put his face through the window and yelled, "What the hell are y'all doing? I'm calling 911.
Huh?
I said, "What did we do?" And he said, "Put that pumpkin back right now." Kelly and I, talking over each other, both tried to explain to the man that the older couple told us to take whatever we wanted. I assumed they were his parents. The man said, "What older couple? What are you talking
about?" Paranormal activity crazy.
Are your parents also here?
What the fuck?
He said, "I ain't got no parents." Kelly and I, both equally confused, looked at
Hey, saying I ain't got no parents. Nigga said that with authority. Me personally, I couldn't take that. Nah, originally I can't take that. Nothing you heard.
each other. I said, "Sir, there was an older couple sitting on your back deck 10 minutes ago, and they told us to take whatever we wanted." The man said, "There ain't no older couples here." He asked where the pumpkin is. I told him in the back. I unlocked the door, and he grabbed the pumpkin. He said if we ever came back here, he'd shoot us. And he spit at the ground and walked back to his house. And drove us out of there. We were as confused as could be. We considered the idea that maybe it was a joke, but that would be a real sick joke. I made a joke saying, "What if there were ghosts?" And Kelly said stop, clearly freaked out. But
Shit,
then I
it
got the
probably
chills
was.
myself as I thought about what I just said. There was silence in the car for a few seconds, and I know we both pondered that idea. Out of curiosity, one day my two siblings went to that pumpkin farm to go pumpkin picking. They bought a pumpkin from the guy we saw, and they probed him a bit, asking about the farm and if the man lived there with anyone. The man said he lives there alone.
You're
It's
not
unsettling
alone,
to
buddy.
hear.
You're not.
Truly, to this day, doesn't make a
You're
lick of
not.
sense. Could the man have been lying about the older couple being there? I don't know. Possibly, but why? The scarier question is, what if he wasn't lying, and he truly does live alone?
You're not
Who
alone.
were those people?
Paranormal activity. I'm telling y'all, ghost is real, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all as simple as that. Ghost is real. He all there. Ghost is real.
It was late October when I woke up to one of my best friends, Connor, hitting me up, asking if I was down to come to his house
Pause.
later. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was in high school at the time, so I spent most of my weekends with friends. Connor's parents were out of town for the weekend, and he was home alone with one of his older sisters, whom I'll just call Chantel. She was supposedly watching him the entire weekend. With that information, I knew he was just asking me to come over and party. Again, I didn't have any work responsibilities to worry about at the time, so I agreed to the idea and headed over to his house. When I got to his house, we played some Call of Duty on his family room's couch for a few hours, talking about school, sports, girls,
That's
and
the
whatever
OG
else
Call
we
of
cared
Duty.
about at the time.
You feel me?
Eventually, he brought up the idea of going to a Halloween party in his neighborhood that a bunch of people from our high school were going to. At first, I was a bit hesitant of the idea, but after some convincing, I was down to go. I'm not introverted or anything. I just wasn't feeling like partying that night, but Connor was dying to go, so trying to be a good friend, I agreed to go. I asked him about getting some kind of costume, and he had 2 security staff shirts that we could just throw on and use as the bare minimum of a Halloween costume. We continued to play on Xbox for a few more hours until 10:30 rolled around. Connor ran upstairs to Chantel's room, telling her we were going, as if she cared. Then we threw on our shirts and headed out. After a quick 5-minute walk, we pulled up to a Halloween-decorated house where we could hear the music blaring from inside. We walked past the decorations and through the door, where we were slammed with the loud music we heard outside. The place was packed with maybe 70 other high school kids raving and just talking in groups throughout the house. It was your average high school party. A few minutes later, I'd already lost Connor as I was pulled aside by Lino, one of my baseball teammates who I'd hardly seen at all that year.
Damn.
He sat me down on a couch in a circle with some of my other friends and teammates. We continued to talk for a couple hours, laughing at dumb memories brought up in conversation and partaking in activities that normally go down at parties. At this point in the night, I was feeling tired and completely out of it. I knew it was time for me to go home
Somebody
and get some
dragged
rest
your
for the
ass,
night.
boy.
I
Somebody
looked through the
dragged your
party
ass.
for Connor,
Drake.
where he was flirting with a girl in the corner of the kitchen.
Let
So
him
I
let him speak
accidentally
game
interrupted
though.
his conversation.
You feel me?
I asked him if it was cool for me to go back to his house and sleep. He agreed and said he was going to stay for a little longer, but the girl he was talking to asked if I could go get some drinks from the basement. I agreed to do so after realizing I completely interrupted their deep conversation. It was
Come on,
the least
fam.
I could do.
Come on, bro.
It didn't take me long to find the basement, as I opened the door and headed down the dimly
Oh,
lit stairs.
Bro,
I stumbled
I
down
will never ever go in a basement or towards a basement. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do that, bro. I don't know about y'all, but I can't.
on the last few steps and fell into the fridge. As I opened it, I was greeted by a man's voice behind me.
Oh
He
no!
tried quietly saying boo. I jumped and threw my hands up, facing the direction I heard the
Shit,
voice.
man, somebody say boo behind me, I'm throwing hands. Shit, I'm not scared of you. I'm supposed to be scared of another man. You feel me? Somebody's behind me. I'm gonna put my hands up and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm not scared of you. Simple as that. I don't know why people get scared of stuff like that. I'm gonna get my hands and beat the shit out of you. Not gonna lie.
From. There was a
You feel
tall,
me?
35-year-old looking man wearing a black cloak costume and standing behind
Y'all
me
be
with a grin
scared
on
of
his
these people,
face, making
man.
a
Beat them
surprise
up.
gesture with his hands. What the hell was that for? I yelled, with a clear slur in my speech. The guy laughed and introduced himself as the party host's cousin. I was so out of it, I didn't even question why he was in a dark basement by himself, and there was a massive party going on upstairs with loud music.
I don't know
The
you.
guy awkwardly tried making conversation, but I told him I needed to get my friend his drink and leave the party. I'm honestly pretty open and chatty to strangers when I'm out of it like that, but even at that moment, I didn't like his vibe, and I tried
Damn.
everything I could to get away. He blurted, "Nice meeting you," as I turned around, walking up the creaking
No,
stairs.
nice meeting you, bro. You
I
weird.
told my friend goodbye and left
You
the party.
weird.
The lights and Halloween decorations on each house in the neighborhood lit up the street as I walked back to Connor's house. It didn't really matter though, because the walk was literally 5 minutes at most. I reflected on the weird exchange I had with that man in the basement as I walked, and I couldn't shake the odd vibes he gave off. The more I thought about it, the weirder it became in my head. I eventually got to Connor's house. It was completely dark, and Chantal's car was gone from the driveway, meaning I was home alone.
Oh my
I
gosh.
walked into the dark, eerie house and didn't bother turning on some lights. Just headed straight to the basement to sleep. I walked down there and passed out on the couch. I lay like a baby for maybe 15 minutes until I heard a crashing noise upstairs.
Oh my gosh.
It woke me right up.
Hey, what's good, nigga? Put your fucking hands up. Hey, you know what I'm saying, bro?
I tried listening for
Shit.
anything else, but I heard nothing.
Nah,
I
for
thought I was
real, bro.
hearing things, then tried getting back to sleep. I don't know how much time passed from when I first heard the crash, but I could hear the floorboards above me creaking like someone was walking on them. I thought it was Connor or Chantel, but it sounded way too heavy to be either of them.
Hey, the footsteps gonna be
Pulled out
getting
my
heavier
phone
when I
and
pull out
texted
that when I
Connor,
pull out that
asking if he
bag.
was home yet.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
stared at the ceiling, trying to listen.
Pull out
The
that
door to the
that
basement
iron,
opened. I could hear a person walk down the staircase. I peeked around the bend of the room to see the stair opening. I saw the man I saw earlier at the party,
Damn.
standing right there, quietly, illuminated by the stair light. I tried not to make any noise, praying that the man would just walk away. A few moments passed by before he randomly turned and quietly walked out of the basement, closing the door. I
That's
picked up my phone
weird.
and dialed 911. I explained the situation to them,
That's weird.
gave them everything they needed, and I waited patiently in the basement for them to show up. I tried opening the windows down there, but they were all sealed shut. I had no escape through the basement door that the man was standing by earlier. The cops eventually came, and they arrested the man because he was still there. He was found hiding underneath Chantel's bed.
Oh,
She
that's
had gotten
weird.
home and was getting ready for
That's
bed.
weird as
and was
fuck, I ain't
moments
gonna
from
lie.
getting into the bed when she heard the cops knocking on the front door downstairs. I have no idea what his intention was, but clearly he followed me home. The whole encounter has really confused me. I'm just glad things played out the way they did.
Hey, bro, people be weird, man.
Oddly enough, the cops
Especially
were able to
October.
review neighboring houses' cameras.
Bro, telling you, Halloween, y'all gotta make sure y'all stay safe, because there's gonna be some weird niggas out there. I'm probably not gonna partake in that, but it be some weird people out there in Halloween, bro. And it's,
And they
it's,
saw the man
it's
following me
wild.
home. But then he lost me after taking the corner into the cul-de-sac. He ended up lurking on Chantel, watching her get out of her car and walk into the house. Then he snuck around to the backyard and broke in through the back door. Always be alert of your surroundings.
Please, bro. These weird niggas, bro. You never know. Story number 3, man, by Allison. MrNightmare, man. Good shit. It's not gay like
It was
last
the
time.
middle of October. The leaves were just starting to change to that beautiful mix of orange and yellow. My wife Courtney and I are a gay couple. We've been married for 2 years now. We wanted to take advantage of the fall foliage and go to the Catskill Mountains in New York. We booked
I
an
respect it,
Airbnb
though.
by
Ain't nothing
Overlook
too
Mountain,
much.
a popular
No.
hiking destination. We're avid hikers, so we go all over the country to explore national parks and famous hiking destinations. This was our 3rd time going to Catskill, New York. The owner of the Airbnb was an adorable-looking, sweet woman who was definitely in her 50s or 60s. Out of respect,
Bro, this
I'll
music
just name
gets
her
him,
Kathy.
dog.
Kathy was very easy to work with and very responsive. She had the key to the little house hidden in a code-locked
fuck built
mailbox,
that?
and she gave me the code.
Wouldn't that?
Inside
What
was
it
a
look
very
like?
rustic and cabiny type of feel.
Yeah,
with
like a
wooden walls
cabin.
and floors, but bright-colored
I
rugs.
would never
covered
live in a
the
cabin.
floors. It was well kept
Like,
and nice.
vacation wise, I'm not going to no cabin, bro. Because it's like, that's just a setup to get your ass messed up, bro. Like, or it's just some weird nigga. I don't know, just give me weird vibes.
spacious enough for 2 people. Outside was woods in all directions. There was a shed converted to a little clubhouse outside, with a pool table and dartboard and a bunch of things hung on the walls. We drove to the base of the Overlook Mountain Trail, and there were some people around. Not many, but a few. As we were ascending the mountain on foot, we'd pass occasional hikers on their way down. Eventually, we sat on a big rock overlooking an amazing cliff view, just admiring for a while. Eventually, we heard a footstep crunching a leaf behind us. We turned around and saw a woman by herself, leaning on a tree. She was like 55 or something.
That's wild.
She was clearly looking at us until we turned and saw her. Then she awkwardly looked away. I would have otherwise said hi, but she made it weird. We just ignored it, until randomly we heard her say hi. So we turned again and saw she was looking at us.
Man, bitch, get your ass out of here, nigga. Ain't saying hi back to you. I don't even know who you is.
From here, we just got into a seemingly normal conversation with her. She said her name was Melinda, and she was from the area. She asked where we're staying, offering her knowledge of the area to suggest places to check out. I told her right up the road at an Airbnb. She suggested some places to go, and then the conversation kind of died off from there. Courtney and I said, well, it was nice meeting you, as we now started descending the trail back towards the car. Weirdly, we noticed the Melinda lady was now also heading down as well, but she was keeping a bit of a distance, not within earshot. We found a spot to rest on the way down for a minute, and we noticed Melinda seemed to stop too at the same time. She was still out of earshot. This was weird. We felt like she was following us, so we decided to just stay put and
stranger danger.
See if she'd move.
You gotta get out of there.
After a while, she finally did continue making her way down, past us. She looked at us and smiled and said okay as she walked past us. We waited till she was out of sight before we continued hiking down. We got back to the parking area a while later, and from there we went straight back to the Airbnb right up the road. We were exhausted, so we took a nap. Then we went out to eat at this place called Garden Cafe, which was highly rated. After that, it was pitch black out, so we went back to the Airbnb with plans to just cuddle up and watch movies. We had a long day of hiking, so we were going to sleep good. There was only a TV in the living room, but it was set up to have Netflix and everything, so we found a good movie to watch and put it on. We were so tired that we started drifting off to sleep halfway through the movie. I noticed Courtney was completely knocked out, and I was following suit, when suddenly...
bro.
Immediately snapped.
Somebody bang on my door like that, you get inside. Not gonna lie, this is invasion of privacy. You don't bang on my door like that unless that's somebody I know.
Back awake to the sound of knocks at the door. We were in the middle of the woods. Knocks at the door were a huge concern.
Oh my god, that's what I'm saying. You're in the middle of nowhere.
There was no peephole in the door. I couldn't check who was there.
Oh no, just don't
All
open
the blinds
don't
were
open
closed.
It. Don't
I
open
wasn't
it.
gonna dare peeking out of one of them.
Yeah, don't open it.
I shook Courtney awake and told her someone's at the door.
Don't open it.
We muted the
Don't
TV, and we waited for a second set of knocks that came
You know
in
it's
seconds
coming.
later.
Yep.
We both agreed there's no shot we were opening the door.
Nope, don't
It
do
was
it.
still early, like 9 o'clock, so I texted Kathy asking if she was at the door. There was then a knock at the window, and a woman's voice on the other side asking if someone in there.
Oh, don't say
Courtney and I
nothing.
were now freaked out.
Don't say anything.
Say we were in a panic. Knocking on a stranger's
I feel like she
window
gonna break
is
in,
not a
though.
normal thing somebody does. What happened next was even more disturbing.
She about to
I heard
scream.
the person trying to lift open the window. Thankfully, it was locked.
Oh my
Kathy
god.
was calling me now. I showed Courtney, and she said maybe it is her outside. That's why she's calling.
No, it's
Picked
not.
up in a low voice, and Kathy on the other end told me she was at home, and she asked who was outside.
Oh my god.
When I told her what's happening, she sounded confused and
Oh my
concerned. None of her friends or relatives would go to that house, she said.
Shit, I ain't on nothing,
She
bro.
told us don't open the door, and we took her advice. After hanging up,
I'm
there
chilling.
now knocks on another window, and the voice called, "I need help. Please let me in." We knew better than
Hell
to fall
no,
for
bro.
this.
Shit.
Something bad would
Hey,
happen.
Mr. Nightmare ain't on that gay shit this time, bro.
I started to
Hey,
realize
chillin'.
it could have been that weird lady from the hiking trail. Like, what if she followed us back to the Airbnb? We honestly wouldn't have even noticed. I went to the bedroom, and it was completely pitch black.
Hell yeah.
And I ever so
I
delicately
might have
moved
to
the
get
blind
off
up
after
just a
this, though. I
crack to
might.
peek
I don't know.
outside.
I don't
There
know.
was a man
We'll see.
walking past the window.
Cause I gotta wake up early as shit again, and I know if I stay on screen tomorrow, I for sure got tired with an all nighter. If I have to get out tonight, I got tired with an all nighter tomorrow. I stay up till 4 in the morning tomorrow. I don't care. Because yeah, I got shit to do. I gotta wake up early. Like I'm at home. When I'm at home, I got shit to do.
He didn't notice me. I went back to Courtney to tell her that there were
Yeah, I
multiple
got y'all
people out
tomorrow
there.
though. If I gotta get up.
This was an invasion. We called 911. I gave them the address and stayed on the line. There were a few more knocks at the door, but we never answered. The people outside eventually gave up, I believe, because the knocks and yells stopped. The police took a while to get there, but when they did, we felt a lot better. The officers were very nice, and they stayed with us while we figured out what we wanted to do.
Damn.
I called Kathy again and explained what happened and why we didn't feel safe staying there tonight anymore.
Stop. Get out of there, eat it.
She was completely
Man, look,
understanding.
somebody pull over the window. I'm not gonna lie. I'm opening that bitch and I'm shooting you. Like, what you at my shit for? I'm opening that bitch and I'm gonna shoot you. Like no cap. It's my safety. It's my self-defense. You know what I'm saying?
We still paid for that night, but the rest of the stay was canceled, and the officers stayed with us while we packed our things and loaded the car.
I swear.
One of them led us in his car to the nearest motel where we stayed for the night. Given the circumstances, we drove home the next day because honestly,
I don't even
we
blame
just
you.
didn't want to be in the area.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't even blame you,
I
bro.
think this was some kind of group that was looking for easy targets to abduct, and may have been using a woman as some kind of scout to gain their trust.
Yeah,
And they
that's-
saw two young women by themselves, so they tried to target us.
That should be
We
true.
started to bring pepper spray with us, just as a form of self-defense.
Nah, man. Bro, Halloween coming up. Y'all make sure y'all watch around. It's gonna be some weird niggas out there. It's gonna be some weird everything. You know what I'm saying? But 80 Mexican Road 10K. Appreciate y'all, man. No cap, man. Y'all let me know how I feel about this, man. I'm out.